You can have perfect blood sugar levels and still be on the path to heart disease. I know that might sound crazy, but I see it all the time with clients. They might have normal lab results with their glucose, but their blood pressure's rising, they have brain fog, stubborn belly fat, and the real issue isn't just their blood sugar, it's insulin resistance. And it's one of the most common drivers of heart disease. In this video, I'll show you how insulin resistance damages your arteries, even when glucose looks normal, what lab markers reveal it early, and what you can do to reverse it. Most routine checkups only look at fasting glucose, but by the time fasting glucose goes up, insulin resistance has already been building for years. That's why I like to use advanced labs like the cardiozoomer, which shows really what's happening. Let's look at some of the key markers on the test, and I'll explain what they mean, and then we'll talk about what you can do about it. First, HbA1c. This shows your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. And even a small rise of, say, 6 instead of 5.4 or lower means more sugar is sticking to the red blood cells and your artery walls. That stickiness stiffens the blood vessels, raises blood pressure, and increases your risk of heart disease. Next, glycated serum protein, or fructosamine. This measures short-term sugar spikes after meals and is probably more accurate than the A1C test. This is a measurement over the past 2 to 3 weeks. And similar, it's like your insides of your arteries have a coating on, a sugary coating that irritates the artery lining, creates inflammation, once again, increasing your risk of heart disease. Then we have insulin and HOMA-IR. These are early warning lights. You might have perfect glucose, but if your insulin is high, your body is already struggling to keep up. Plus, the lab reference range is usually around 2 to 25, but you want to be below 10 as a minimum, and ideally in that 3 to 6 range. Most doctors aren't normally checking fasting insulin levels. High insulin drives inflammation, oxidative stress, and that damages the endothelium of your blood vessels. Adiponectin is next. It's made by healthy fat cells and keeps inflammation down. When it's low, insulin resistance and inflammation rise together. Then we have leptin. That's telling your brain when you've had enough to eat. When leptin levels stay high, your brain stops listening and you feel hungry all the time, eat more. That leads to more fat gain and another way of leading to insulin resistance. Next, we have TMAO. And this links your gut to your heart. And it's made by certain gut bacteria when we eat a high red meat diet or high in choline-rich foods. Eating meat is fine, but when it's combined with too many processed foods that have a negative impact on your gut microbiome, this can promote excess TMO. For example, not enough fresh fruits, vegetables, high fiber foods can make the microbiome worse. Next up, we have ferritin, and this shows how much iron your body is storing. But if you have too much ferritin, this can also be a sign of inflammation. That's why it's good to check a full iron panel and see if you have elevated iron or inflammation. Either way, high ferritin creates oxidative damage, and it's like your blood vessels are rusting on the inside, causing more inflammation. Next up, we have L-carnitine. This helps to move fat into your cells for energy. Low levels can mean sluggish fat burning, but overdosing on carnitine supplements can raise TMAO, leading to inflammation and increased risk of heart disease. So the balance matters. All of these markers and many more are tested with the cardiozoomer test. And while this is the most advanced cardio test available, it's not cheap and it's not available everywhere in the world. Now you might be thinking, what if I don't have access or can't afford this test? Well, there's simple things or simple clues that you can look at to see if you have insulin resistance and metabolic syndrome. For example, if you're 180 centimeters and your waist is greater than 90, that means you've got too much body fat around the waist. If your blood pressure is over 120 on 80, or your fasting glucose is creeping above 95, these are all clues that you have some form of insulin resistance. And while it's great to do these advanced tests, either way you want to take action. And the good news is it's fixable. And here's what's really happening. Insulin resistance leads to higher insulin that drives oxidative stress and inflammation. Over time, that damages the endothelium, and that creates the perfect environment for plaque and heart disease. So it's not just high cholesterol, it's this damage to the endothelium that accelerates heart disease. The good news is these changes are reversible. With the right diet, resistance training, aerobic training, good sleep, stress management, you can improve the insulin and blood sugar levels within a few weeks. If you want to see how all of these markers combined together in the cardiozoomer, watch this video next where I do a full run through of all the cardiozoomer markers. And I'll leave links to these tests in the description below. If you have any questions or comments, I'd be happy to hear them.